Hello there, welcome back to my channel, The Wellbeing Guinea Pig, and I'm your host, Jenny. It's been a while. I've been really looking forward to doing this YouTube video and any more that I'm able to get out. I can't wait. But today I want to talk to you about skincare, and I want to talk to you about my routine and how it's changed over the years. I'm going to let you into a little secret. I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm 3 weeks off 41. Keep it to myself. 41. I'm as old as the hills. Anyway, but when I was in my 20s, I used to really, I think, go over the top with my skin routine, and I used to sort of use cleansing toner, moisturiser. You know, we taught this is the thing to do: cleanse, tone, moisturise. And the products that I used to use were really just stripping my skin. They weren't doing anything for my hormones. That's one thing I want to talk to you about as well today, is hormones, and namely, this is why diet is so important, really, because it's not just, I've said this before, but not just about what we topically put on our skin, but actually what we ingest and how we treat ourselves from the inside. But anyway, so, you know, when I was in my 20s, I think I cleansed, toned and moisturised to within an inch of my life, you know. And I found that the T-zone, sort of down here, my nose and this area around my mouth, I would get quite a breakout, especially around the time of the month. You know, at one point it was it was diagnosed as adult acne, which I never even had spots in my teen years, but actually going through my mid to late 20s, that was what I sort of suffered with. Anyway, I've found now, which I'll go into detail in a sec, but what I've found now is that all that, again, it's kind of like the hype of what we watch our friends doing it. We watch people on TV, cleanse, tone, moisture, you know, and we kind of think that's the way we really take care of our skin. But I've learned now, and in my 40s, that actually you don't need all that stuff. But I will start off by saying the most important thing I would to try and stress to you is that you need to hydrate. Hydration above everything. You need your cells to be nice and hydrated. You need to be getting rid of the toxins. You know, this applies to everything, every cell in your body and everything on the outside as well. I wouldn't normally, just using this for entertainment purposes, but I wouldn't normally use plastic bottle. I would always say to use my water filter that I've found it really works well for years, is a big Berkey. And then if I don't have that, I would try and go for bottled water. However, I realise bottled water is really expensive, so I would use plastic bottled water when I'm travelling. And you know, and I've said in the last video that I would do a coffee enema and I would use the plastic bottle. But due to I want to stress this to you, the bisphenol A that is found in plastic that leaches into the water isn't the best. You know, it is a hormone disruptor. So because we're talking about the skin, you need to be aware of that especially if in the summer, if it's heated, that BPA leaks into the water itself. So that being said, I had to mention that to you. Now, the companies that I probably would have used, I would just grab it from Superdrug or whatever was going at the time, you know, Garnier or whatever was one of the buzz ones that you'd see on TV. I then progressed into Dermalogica. I did find that Dermalogica was quite good for my skin. You know, it's a well-known brand. It's kind of like, you know, looked at these types of brands, it's almost like then I buy Dermalogica, you know, it's kind of like a bit of a label to say, oh, look at me. But now I actually don't buy into any of that. I really feel like we should take it down to basics again, and this is literally what I do. My skin is better than ever. I mean, granted, you know, I probably don't look as young as in my 20s, but you know, any compliments are welcome, you know. But you know, in my 40s, I do actually find that my skin's calmer. It is more cleansed, you know. I feel like I can feel the moisture, you know, when I touch my head, and so yeah, we'll get into it then. This is basically all that I do. So I use, I'll start off with the big bulky one. Now this is shea butter. Again, I will stress that I love organic. You know, this is one of the things that I love to talk about is organic. I'm a massive fan of anything that's organic. Again, with nothing here, none of these products do I have any sort of affiliation with. This is just what I use. Sometimes on price, you know. I get this from Amazon, and it's an organic shea butter. Now this is absolutely wonderful for the body and face. It's so thick and moisture. It traps all the moisture in, so I love it for my body. But I do realise that a lot of people sort of try to because of having, maybe they feel like they have oily skin, that they want to avoid things that are you know, this thick. But really, you're doing the opposite, because I think mostly it comes from the hormones that's the problem, not actually topically what you're putting in. It could be that you've got like a combination skin, but it feels like it's oily, but really it's your body's way of overcompensating. So what I've found is when I oil with this lovely organic shea butter, it just gives it what it needs, and then it doesn't need to produce any more in any random areas. You know, the tone of my skin is extremely even. So what I do is, and this is another one that I'm going to say, and I'm sure people will go, oh my God, I will never put coconut oil on my skin, especially if I've got combination skin, or you know, perceived as oily skin. But again, that comes back to your hormone function, because if your hormones are functioning correctly, there shouldn't be any of this problem with your skin. We are actually doing this ourselves with our diet. So this is, you know, I'll come to talk about the other stuff in a little while, but what I do is I use this on my face and my body, and then I use the coconut oil to trap that moisture in. Now, the reason why I'm a big proponent of coconut oil, again, I will always stress organic, because I don't want pesticides, fungicides, herbicides going into my body in that way. You know, this, whatever we put on topically, it goes into the body. So we've got to understand this. This is why we have got to be careful about what we're using. So this is, again, no particular brand. Cheapest chips on offer in Asda for £4, this size, you know. And I will then use this, the moisture, and then I will trap it on top with the coconut oil. Now that sounds like a lot of oil, but really your body just takes in, when your hormones are working well, that's all that you need. And this actually kills bacteria. Coconut oil kills bacteria. So if you've got a bacteria that you feel like you're constantly tackling, and you've been stripping with alcohol or phthalates, you know, these are the problems with the conventional type of creams that we're using and that's advertised on TV. You know, these big, we would perceive as these good big brands. They're full of phthalates, they're full of fragrances that we don't need, additives, preservatives. These and non-organic, meaning pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, all that you put in topically on your face is going into your bloodstream, and it's working its way through your body. Your lymphatic system's got to work overtime. So all this is wonderful. kills bacteria. You know, we wouldn't associate this oil as something that's going on topically and killing, any sort of overgrowth of bacteria. So that's really a really good thing to know. Now, I'm going to come to a couple of other things. Firstly, so my routine is, say I have a morning shower, I'll put this over my body, over my face, then I'll lock it in, lock all that lovely moisture in with the coconut oil. Now, I always use an SPF over the top, but I want you to understand this, and please take this on board. Not every SPF works in the same way. Now, I love this particular brand, Badger. There are other newer ones, but I've been using Badger for years, and it's probably been about six, nearly getting on for 7 years now. This is organic, and the only active ingredient is zinc oxide. Now, zinc oxide is non-problematic in our bodies, whereas the majority, and when I talk about the majority of SPFs that protect you from the sun, the majority of those have carcinogens in them. Now, I know that seems like a blanket statement, but really, this really contributes to a disease state in the body, and I want you to understand that. It doesn't matter how expensive a brand is. It's lovely that they advertise as broad spectrum and, all these buzzwords. Mine is broad spectrum, so it protects from UVA and UVB. But the most important thing I want you to take away from this is that the majority of the SPFs that are out there do have carcinogens in them, and they act and they destroy human cells. That's as simple as I can tell it to you. So I know that in my learnings and everything that I did from 6+ years ago, this one was one that was recommended for people who had skin cancer, and they couldn't put anything harsh in their bodies, on top of their bodies, and they really rate this brilliantly. So, I really want people to take home that. Of course, I love an SPF on my face. I wear it in the winter, I wear it every day, an SPF. But I know that is doing nothing but good in my body, so I've got no qualms with it, right? The other side of it is we need more vitamin D than we have, so I wouldn't suggest lathering this all over your body. Hence now, this is what I'm going to come to. So, vitamin D3, the baby. Now, I take, again, no affiliation with this company. There's, there's a lot of companies out there that are just as good as this. It's not a complicated thing really. There's no brands that really stand out more than others when it comes to the vitamin D3. So this is just one of them that I use, but the reason why I use this as well is it's got the K2. We need, and hence this is what I have, as a minimum of 4,000 IU, and then I have the K2 added to that. The reason why is because D3 on its own, as lovely as it is, and acts like a hormone. So if I can just stress again, we need to get our hormone levels right for our skin to flourish, and not just the D3, but omegas. We need to have fish oil. We need to have all that lovely stuff. But the D3, 4,000 IU minimum with K2. If you don't pair it with K2, over time it starts to calcify the cells, because D3 then allows calcium into our cells, And now what K2 does is K2 transports the D3 from every cell to the cells that it needs to be in. So it needs to be in our bones, our teeth, our nails, so the K2 transports it to where it needs to be. Now, at this point, I want to just tell you, because I haven't duped you, because I do really want to talk about my skin care routine, and all this is really valid. But while I'm on the subject, I want you to know that D3, a minimum of 4,000 IU a day with K2. How can I say this? I want to say it in the best possible way. I'm not here to diagnose disease. I'm not here to talk about the ways that I can heal the human body. However, having a minimum of 4,000 IU of D3 in K2, it cuts the risk of you having things like corona virus by 85%. Now, this isn't just a figure that I've thrown around. There are 75 papers now that are published in the scientific journals to show that adding D3 and K2, and this was done in the elderly. There was a big survey that was done in the elderly over 80s, and it stopped them, the 80% of the people given a minimum, and not necessarily the K2, it was just put out there as the D3, 80% didn't get this corona, and these were the aged. So you could imagine how that would be on the same scale done with 40-year-olds, it would be even higher. So I'm just putting that out there, that I can't diagnose or treat disease, and I'm not, this is for entertainment purposes. But I want you to know that at this point in our life, with the winter that we've got with everything else that we have to put up with in the winter, it's a really, really good buy, and it's really inexpensive. There's no excuse. I think that was like £10 off Amazon. I'll then come to, and again, acts as a hormone, just to finish, because I know we're talking about the skin, acts as a hormone and helps to regulate our hormones, so everything's working the way it should be. We're not getting these strange breakouts because things are working the way they should do in the body, hence that shows on the skin. Right, so that's been done. Now, on that same note, I want you to understand that the same as I'm saying to treat adults, it's just as important, as we know now, right, to treat children. And this is what I'm giving my children at the moment, and that is, as you can see, D3, 1,000 there, it gives you the age, but I double that. So I half what I have, and I double it to have 2,000 for the children. That would be absolutely fine to cover them. I also, as I say, I can't actually find the chewy ones because the kids find it difficult to swallow these tablets. I know, because it's tried and tested with my children. I'm always sort of, trying to get them to have what I feel like their body needs. But there are lots of companies that do these, chewable and easy on the kids to swallow. So they have 2 of those with a meal the same time, and then I pair it because it's got the K2, it's got calcium in there, but that's got vitamin D2 in there. So that's different to the D3. So I feel like that is they're covered with having half as much as I would. Now, I'm not telling you to buy this to give to your children. I'm telling you that's what I do to make sure my children are healthy and their immune system is up there. again, the other thing is, what I would say to you while I'm on this is, if you are immune compromised, which, let's face it, most of us are at this point, I would say to you to have vitamin C. Now, I would normally have liposomal vitamin C in the winter. I haven't actually needed to this year because I feel like my immune status, my regime of the way my food and vitamins that I have, I feel like my immunity is way up there anyway. So I do have my organic super berries, so I'll have a couple of mouthfuls of those if I feel like it. You know, I do have a good healthy regime, so it's not necessary. But what I'm going to do is, because I haven't got any liposomal vitamin C at the moment, I'm going to put a link down below to Amazon to tell you where you can get a good brand, a good liposomal. And if you are immune compromised, I would advise to buy that, because it again, it will help lovely for collagen synthesis, which is for the skin, but it's also really good for the immune system. And having it as a liposome means that the cell is able, because it's encased in fat, the cell is able to grab hold of the vitamin C and the fat, and then it transports it into the cell, and you get something like 96-97% of that vitamin C, where sometimes it's a little bit harder for us to get the vitamin C that we want into the cell. So again, if you're immune compromised, not saying that it treats it's a instead of an injection, but liposomal C really helps the immune system with the vitamin D. Now, I just want to quickly finish with that part there, saying that we're all, so I think it might be worth just, because we always go on about vitamins, and we really miss out a lot of these minerals, these essential minerals that our body needs, and they're called essential minerals because, of course, we need them for our body to function properly. So it might be worth just getting a mineral complex, like, you know, that would cover the main ones off the top of my head would be zinc, iodine, selenium, magnesium, you know, and then, you know, the vitamins. But those would be the main ones. But a nice complex would be really good. Yeah, so I just think we really need to just make sure our mineral status is you know, is fully functioning. Our endocrine system for our hormones is fully functioning. And lastly, I think it's me baby. Oh, I mean, turmeric and black pepper. There's nothing that this doesn't do, you know. So, again, for the skin, lowers inflammation. It's great for bowel movements, for bloating. So of course, I think anything that helps the gut to heal and seal and calm the gut, it's doing exactly the same on our skin. So, you know, I'm just a massive, I mean, you could even, you know, if we're hell-bent on doing topical, you could even sort of make your own, you know. I mean, I've got beautiful essential oils upstairs. I love frankincense for the skin. So, you know, with this shea butter, I haven't, but I've just given myself a great idea that I could put this in a pot. I could get some of the turmeric and black pepper in. I could get some of the frankincense. You can pair it with these lovely things that could go topically on the skin. You could even, like, you know, use them as face masks. Granted that they'll probably leave a bit of a glow after putting that in. But, you know, you could use it as a face mask and then sort of use the coconut oil to wipe it away. It's not necessary to buy these things. We've been duped into this system of feeling like we've got to do this cleansing, moisturising, toning. and it's been the wrong thing for us to do. I hope you feel like, and this is the ego being pushed away. I hope you see that, you know, all that I've got on my skin today is that I've got my SPF, and I've got some organic fake tan that I just put over the top, and then a little bit of lipstick, and that's all that I feel like I need. Now, in my 20s, I wouldn't have been able to do that because my skin tone was uneven. You know, there were spots constantly erupting. I had to really get to town to try and bring my skin back to balance. And now, because I just pay attention a little bit to what I'm putting in my body, and then I have simple things that are lovely and organic and really nourishing, that I feel like I don't need any of that, you know, the well-known brands that are advertised on the TV. It's not necessary. So I just want to finish lastly by trying to drive a point home at the moment. I know everyone's got their own opinion of things in our world, and I respect everybody's opinion. I'm learning with the coaching course that I'm doing. We've all got our own lens that we look at life through. You know, no one person's the same. But I just want to say to you, the fear that's being instilled in us at the moment is blocking us from seeing anything that resembles the truth, you know. It's a very warped way of looking at our society at the moment. If I can just try and talk to you about the vision, I won't go into detail because I can't, but if I could just try and enlighten you a little bit into the way that we have been reacting to corona and these new strains and everything. We've given our power away because we're so desperate to we feel to fix the problem, to go back to our life, that we've got the blinkers on, and we're not seeing that we all have a power in this situation. We all have a choice, and we can do our own research. We can trust our own opinions. And if everybody did their due diligence, due diligence? You know the word. If everybody did their own research and found out for themselves, you would come to so many of your own conclusions. But if you trust everything that is told to you, like we tend to, then your power is being taken away, because you're never responsible. And I understand, because of the psychology of it all now, I understand that if we own up to certain things that we've allowed ourselves to believe and trust, and you know, we're opening up a massive can of worms, because then we have to take responsibility. But when you've taken responsibility for feeling like, oh yeah, I feel duped, and there is another way of looking at this, then that opens up power. Your power. You can take back power. You haven't got to believe everything that you hear on the news. You haven't got to believe everything that you read. If you do your own research, all these things, I know I harbour on about organic, and I know I harbour on about nutrition, and I will go as far to say is that you can change this status of disease. You can change this status of all these immune compromising states, and you can take back the power. But you've just got to take responsibility first off, and then change the way that you're doing it. And I hope that even if 2, 3, 4 people get the message that I'm saying here, is you can do it yourself, you can believe in yourself, and you haven't got to follow the flock. Please understand what I'm trying to say here, that it's really important that you take back control, So this is what I'm doing, and this is what I want to relay to you, that I feel fully in control. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of tomorrow. I'm not scared of anything that I can see on the news, because I know that I am looking after myself and I'm advising my loved ones, and I know I've got that power. You know, nothing's going to come my way and knock me off my feet and say, look, I've ended up in hospital over this strain. No, because my immune status is up there, because I know how to treat myself. I know the right things to put in my body, so my beautiful immune system, please listen, my beautiful immune system can do its job. That's what it's there for. Our bodies and our brains are so intelligent. We do not give it enough credit. We are so intelligent. Let our bodies do what it's there to do for us. So just by following these few steps, I hope that you come to your own conclusions. I'm not trying to influence you in any detrimental way. I want you to understand that the power's in you. So I'm going to leave you there today. Lecture over. That was a lecture. I hope it was a nice lecture. But, you know, any comments, be good or bad, you know, I really put my ego aside now. So I understand that everybody's got their own take. And I feel that, and rightfully so, we should have our own take. Power to the people and all that, right? We should. But I want you to understand that with me, I've got solely your best interests at heart. So any comments, please like, please subscribe. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next one.